You do not have to accept her rejection.
Yeah, you do.
I'm a professional dating coach.
No, you're not.
Now, here's an example. I was talking to a girl.
No, you weren't.
And she said, oh, I'm not really interested. And I, instead of just going, okay, and then just turning away, I did this. Why would you not be interested in me? I'm the best.
This is Alpha Dom, and according to somebody, he's the pinnacle of dating coaches for men. I would encourage you to go check out his website, but getting it to work was a struggle. And of course, the world didn't respond too well to this terrible advice.
I kind of want to show you the elite level of hate that I'm dealing with. Oh,
don't worry, it gets better.
People are telling me I should delete all my accounts. I have met more people over this weekend that are amazing, pleasant people, a lot of them female, saying, you know what, you are legit and you actually know what you're talking about. Oh, turn off your account.
I personally struggle with lust. And as someone who's trying to overcome my lust so I can become a better person, I don't want to go into the gym to work out and see ass and tits in my face.
No hate to this creator at all. I just see a few flaws. Number one for me, you talked about how you struggle with lust and you don't want to go to the gym seeing women butt naked. You struggling with lust is your own problem, and it's not up to women to change what they're wearing so then you aren't faced with lusting over them. You struggling with that is your responsibility to fix, not anyone else's, especially not a woman. That is your problem. And, you could say it's disrespectful to be naked in front of people, whatever. But it is not their responsibility to say, he struggles with lust, let me put more clothes on. I also don't care that this guy has his profile pic as a shirtless picture. Again, live your best life, you do you. But I feel as though if a woman had a shirt with like a bra on or something like that, it would also be a problem. So I just think the double standard is a bit crazy. And I think the same goes with the male loneliness epidemic and us saying it's basically women's responsibility and that's why men are lonely, because of women, instead of just holding men accountable. So I just think we need to look at the double standards before maybe we share or give our opinion.
Being a straight white dude that likes Trump but is only into liberal women, it's a lot like being in the closet.
There was a study published last year that 65% of Democrats, women, would not date a Republican. And that number shot up to 74% when that person was a Trump supporter. In this study of 5,000 people, it even went as far as to say 64% of college-educated Democrats would not date a Republican. Why do you think that the gender gap is so far apart when it comes to politics in America right now?
Lied to feminist women talking about how wonderful their life is because they don't have a husband, they don't have children. So they're showing, today I slept in, I went to the spa, I went to Belize. They just talk about how nice their life is because they don't have the inconvenience of a husband and children. And these are young women who have been perpetually lied to. And I'm just telling you, if they do a follow-up at 50, they're not going to be happy. They're going to be working late. They're going to be lonely. They're going to have 7 cats and a couple of STDs. And then at Christmas, they're going to be all alone, very sad. And what they're not going to post is, I'm winning.
By now, you're all aware of the loneliness epidemic that's going on with single men. And what I find really interesting is the amount of men that are coming to their aid. And rather than trying to encourage these men to be better catches, to encourage these men to be better partners, they'd rather try to guilt trip and shame women for not choosing them. Whether it's Tyler Perry saying, even if all he could do is pay the light bill, if he loves you, take him. And now you have this pastor. A pastor sounds like he's listening to these Manosphere podcasts. Even the pastor is saying that you're going to die alone. Even the pastor is saying that you might as well get you some cats. You didn't get that out of a Bible, pastor, but you did get it from a podcast. Why not tell these men to be better? Why not tell them to be more emotionally intelligent and to help out around the house and to be caring and thoughtful and loving and to not think that everything revolves around them? As soon as women start decentering men, you start seeing men from the pulpit to the parking lot, sliding down the wall, throwing up and crying and all of that. It's like, they'll do anything but change. They'll do anything but improve. They'll do anything but be a better mate. So now you have this pastor trying to guilt trip and shame women for not choosing these men. There's a reason why they're not getting picked. You tell women to pick better, and when we're not picking you, you get mad about it. It's because you're not better. Telling a woman that she'll be better off with just any of these men than being alone, There are worse things than being single. There are worse things than being alone. The worst thing is actually being with somebody that makes you feel alone. But here they are from the pulpit pushing on you. You know what? You better get somebody because you're getting older. So is he. And if he's worried about being older and being alone, then he better step it up. I'm not even a single woman, but it's exhausting to me the amount of people that don't believe that you can be single and be happy. They could believe that you could be a George Clooney and a Leonardo DiCaprio. You could be a bachelor in your 30s and 40s and 50s and nobody bats an eye. I bet he's having the time of his life. But if a woman does it, oh, I'm sure she's miserable. Not every woman is built for that. Not every woman wants that. But she's selfish if she doesn't choose that. Because her life is all supposed to be about service and servitude to some dusty man. They hear you, Pastor, but they're not buying it. They're not going to let you convince them that they're not happy when they know that they are. They would much rather be single and selective and waiting until they find somebody that's worthy of their choice than just settle for anybody because the men out here are lonely. They're going to stay that way until they make themselves better choices. There's a woman on here that has 2 dogs and they are absolutely adorable. And she takes really good care of those dogs. Like she bathes them, gives them these like spa treatment for the dogs. I'm talking about cooking steaks for the dogs. Like the dogs eat better than some human beings. And it's just a single woman just taking care of those dogs who treats them like they're her children. The men in the comment section, the way that they are jealous of literal animals, the way that these puppies have these men, they're boxers in a bunch. It is insane. But they feel like all that effort is wasted. Like, because they want one of them to deserve all that effort. Why isn't she making a steak for one of us? Why isn't she clipping our toenails? Why isn't she like, sir? Some of these men, they only think that women are here for their utility. You're only here to be in service to one of them. So if you're out here and you're not serving one of them, they feel like your life is being wasted. How dare you cook and clean and you're not doing it for one of us? Child.
I need a wife. I don't know how to work this. What do I do? Can someone tell me?
Why does a man feel like that this is a woman's job? That this would fall under wifely duties? It's because men like this view traditionally feminine tasks as beneath them. Therefore, it's not a task a man should have to concern himself with. Because it's woman's work, which is in fact one of the worst things a man can do or be, which is be feminine, be a woman, or participate in anything that is traditionally feminine. And while it might seem like a silly little joke, every little joke like this, particularly from men, holds insight and a little truth. Men who make jokes like this even go so far as to say that they love women, that they value women, all while turning around and telling women that they're being too sensitive while playing in their face that doing laundry is beneath them. Having conversations early on in a relationship about what a man views as equitable in terms of domestic labor can be one of the best vetting tools for women. Because if he grew up in a traditional household, chances are he's going to see this as women's work, regardless of women's employment status. He might even say that he doesn't. He might say that he believes that if both people are working outside of the home, the domestic labor and the child care should be split equally. But chances are he hasn't even unpacked that misogynistic viewpoint, which is that I work outside of the home, I still don't value the domestic labor that you're providing as important as the work that I do. Chances are he's not going to, and he's also not going to believe that once he gets home from work, he's going to have to participate in any of the household labor and child care either.
We keep blaming the loneliness epidemic on women because sometimes men cannot fathom the idea of creating the spaces for themselves or creating these groups where they seek help of the problems they are facing as a society. I can't deny it that men face emotional and economical hardships through their life. But blaming it on women is diabolical. It's something I really don't understand where this whole idea comes from. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section. When a girl tells you no, do you have to accept it or do you have to force it? Tell me your thoughts in the comment section about this whole issue. Then continue watching.
Broke women shouldn't want rich men. Y'all have nothing to offer but kidding. Okay, first of all, women aren't offering anything to men. Men think they're offering. That's where men make their first mistake. They think they finna get some, but they not. Second mistake men make is that women are broke. Women are never broke. They're sitting on a gold mine, literally. 1 week a woman could have no job. The next week she could be married to a millionaire. So women are never broke. Men are natural born providers. If they can't do the one job that they were put on the earth to do, then they don't need to be dating any woman or talking to any women. If a man needs help, he need to go back and ask his mother. Sprinkle, sprinkle. All right? Literally. If you need help from a woman, go ask your mom. That's the only woman that you can ask for help from. Your mama, your grandma, your auntie, one of them. If you're looking for a woman, a girlfriend, a wife, you're the man, not the son. Okay? So go man up, take some lessons on masculinity, and then come back and try again with whoever will deal with you. And hopefully your paper will be up. Sprinkle, sprinkle. These dudes in here don't realize they're not worth 2 pennies. Okay? They don't understand their own value. That's why they don't understand yours. And that's something I want to talk about. That's why having more than one, at least you can sift through the dust faster. At least you can sift through the cheap people faster and get to the one that is, qualified. Okay? When people set up job interviews, they have more than one. They set up more than one job interview. That's like dating more than one. They're not just going to interview one person and take them for the job because they're desperate. No, you got to interview several. And whoever may the best one get it. Sprinkle, sprinkle.
Do you consent to a second date?
Do I have a last question? Who did you vote for?
Trump. But with that comes a lot of things.
Heart is broken. I enjoyed my evening with you, but I have to stick to my morals and my principles.
And this is why conservative men are having the toughest time dating right now, because never before has your vote told a woman exactly what she needed to know about you. She doesn't have to wonder if you're a misogynist. You voted for one. She doesn't have to ask you how do you feel about women's rights, immigration, Medicare, Social Security, free lunch for low-income kids, racism, feminism. Without even having to go on a single date with you, you've told her everything she needs to know. That's why that woman only needed to hear you answer that question for her to realize it's a hard pass. And a lot of women are giving you men a hard pass for the same reason. Because even if you say, no, I did it because of the economy, what you're saying is profits over people. You're saying even if you have more than enough, you wouldn't dare help somebody who needs it. There's no need to ask him if he's red pill. If you look close enough, you can still see the red dye on his tongue. Well, of course you want the little woman in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant making you biscuits. Forget about using her education or her degree. Like Harrison Butker said, her greatest calling is to be a wife and a mom. She doesn't need a life outside of that. What do you think she is, a man?
Do we have an epidemic of loneliness, or do we have an epidemic of undateable men? Because the way people will preach about how, it's because dating apps and social media or OnlyFans addiction, but you want to know who is the number one user of all of those things? Men. It's men, which has developed this incel culture where they want to adhere to these traditional values where they felt entitled to things like a woman. Yet I'm like, okay, do you have the financial stability to buy a home with a wife who can't work and have 3 kids and financially support all of them? No, they are not financially stable, emotionally stable, mentally stable. There is no value. There is not value in the partnership, which makes them feel isolated and angry, and then they have to project that insecurity onto somebody else, namely women, right? It can't be our own fault. We can't come to terms with our own inadequacy. We have to convince ourselves it's the society, it's the other people, it's this, when in actuality, you have nothing to offer.
A world where more and more men are single because women do not want to date them is a world that's very dangerous for women, which is why I worry about retaliation in reaction to the rise of single men. We actually have data from this year that shows young women are way less interested in dating than young men are. And we have data to show that more women than men are single because they simply cannot find someone they are interested in dating. 38% of single American women say the main reason they're not dating is they can't find someone that meets their expectations, compared to only 23% of men say the same thing. College-educated women are the group most likely to say they are single because they can't find someone that meets their expectation, 45%. And I can hear the men in my comments now saying, see, it's women's fault. They have too high of expectation and that's why everyone is single and lonely. But let me remind you that women have always entered into marriages with the expectation that it is going to materially improve their lives. We needed husbands for financial security. We needed them for bank accounts, for credit cards, to have a house to live in. And now women are doing better than men. We are more educated. We are stable on on our own. And women who are independent and self-sustaining do not need to get married. When you don't financially need a husband or a partner, you can say, I'm not going to get a partner until I find one that's emotionally supportive, emotionally intelligent, doesn't need me to be his therapist and his mom, doesn't need me to do all the childcare, all the housework. And men will tell you, they do in my comments every single day, that these expectations are just simply too much. I fear for escalating retaliation that this will cause interpersonally between men and women, and also in legislative and policy decisions, like the push to get rid of no-fault divorce, in the rolling back of reproductive rights, and with things like student debt and college affordability. They're not going to make college more affordable when more women going to college results in higher expectations of the men that want to date us. So yeah, that's why I worry about retaliation of men who cannot make it worth it for women to want to date and marry them.
So I don't know if anybody else is struggling with this, but on every date that I've been on recently, I find out that these guys are extreme conservative MAGA guys. And that might not be posted on their apps or their prompts, or you might not know that going in. And then I find out, and it's a big problem for me because I've been having these guys tell me that they have a lack or inability to have empathy for masses that don't directly affect them. I had a guy tell me last night that he doesn't care about people personally that are not in his life, or that, and it doesn't affect him. Like, if it doesn't affect him, then he doesn't care about it. And that really bothered me because I've had a lot of guys these days like tell me that they don't feel empathy for people of different socioeconomic statuses or going through different problems. And I think this was really heavily related to the ICE raids and lack of empathy for people losing their families and losing their lives over these things. So as a progressive person, but also as a person who really tries to care about other people in her community, I find it a huge struggle these days to date amongst the rise of Trumpism and conservatism in young men.
When women don't have a relationship, they pour that energy into their friends and their work. When a man doesn't have a relationship, he pours it into conspiracy theory, porn, and misogyny.
If women can be okay without relationships, so can men. Also, stop prescribing women as the cure. Men don't need girlfriends to rescue them from isolation. They need community, accountability, and friends who actually ask them how they are doing. And men can do that by being the change they want to see in the world. Women have been building support systems forever. Book clubs, group chats, therapy, wine nights. Men could do the same thing, but instead, we keep acting like all the emotional labor should come free with a girlfriend. No, that's over. This is exactly why so many women are opting out, because they're tired of being a mom with benefits. It is gross. Scott Galloway is almost there, but still missing the point. He isn't wrong that men are struggling, but he keeps naming the symptom, loneliness, without naming the cause, patriarchy. It's the same system that tells men not to cry, not to depend on anyone, and not to be vulnerable, and then acts shocked when they end up isolated. And through it all, we keep circling back to what's best for men. Apparently, once men start suffering, it's a crisis. But when women spent decades juggling childcare, careers, and the mental load, that was called a lifestyle choice. So, if we actually want healthier men and healthier relationships, stop handing women the bill for men's emotional deficits. You don't fix patriarchy by dating it.
People have been complaining that Republicans or conservative men per se are not getting dates from liberal women. I saw a video the other day. They claimed that the reason these Republican men don't want conservative women, first and foremost, is that the conservative groups, they are boring because they don't have any art, they are not creative in any way, you know. And the other reason they don't want conservative women is that conservative women want them to play conservative roles in the family, provide housing, everything. They are willing to submit, but they want the man to provide for everything. And these men don't want that. They want a woman who is submissive without them making any commitments to these relationships. So you find it very hard for these guys to date fellow conservative women. And these liberal women, they are telling them that if you voted against my rights in the previous elections, there is no need of us being friends or us even getting to know each other. So you go to these dating sites, these old dating sites, women have put in their bios or in their profiles, MAGA, swipe left or swipe right or swipe left, which I don't know. I've never been into them that much. But one of them is pass, smash a pass. Yeah, that one. So that's what these ladies are putting in their profiles. No conservative or no MAGA men. So it's very hard. So they have to lie to get dates. Like they say, I'm a political, I'm not interested in politics. Yeah. But it's very hard for men to not get interested in politics. If someone tells you, I'm not interested in politics, for sure, they are conservative. So that's the whole issue going on. A man wants a traditional or a submissive wife, but they don't want the responsibilities that come into them. And to ladies out there, I always say, set standards. Set standards. Men set their standards. Men set the kind of a woman they want. And if they have the ability or the capability, they get it. So I don't get it why women don't set standards. Like maybe if you are anyone or someone, I'm ready to listen to you. I'm ready to see if we can mingle. But voting for Trump, I believe it's all about values, not ideologies. It's all about values. What you believe in or what I believe in. If they are not interacting in any way, I don't believe that we should share valuable moments of our lifetime together. It's simply not compatible. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section. Until the next video, adios.